So this is it sustainable? I'll give you guys a player's statistics up to this point of the season. You guys tell me simply, is it sustainable over the course of 82 games, or is this just a hot start and they will revert to a more, I don't know if realistic's the right word, but more to their career averages. So let's start with the Cavs' best player, Donovan Mitchell. Through the first 18 games of the season, Donovan is averaging 24.5 points, shooting 47% from the floor, 41% from three. Steve, you can take this whenever you want, sir. He's averaging 4.5 rebounds and 3.7 assists. Is this pace sustainable?
Not only sustainable, he can grow those numbers. He's the one that I feel hasn't even hit his ceiling this year.
Are any of his numbers career highs?
No.
Just the three-point shooting.
What do you have last year
that's right.
in points per game last year?
More than that, right, Mike?
Yeah, he was like 27.5.
Okay.
What's he shooting from three right now?
41.1%, which is a career high.
What's the best he's ever shot?
Prior to this?
Yeah.
For a season, his highest was 38.6.
I mean, that's obviously a jump.
Yeah.
But I think it's sustainable. He can shoot 41% from three.
Easy money. These numbers is not devastating or nothing. It's not like he's
Put up your.
Sorry.
It's not like he gets 30 points a game or something. It's easy money right here.
So we all kind of agree on him.
Yeah. That was the easy one.
Is there a stat on there that you think is more important than the other?
Me?
For Donovan?
Yeah, to actually sustain, like, is it assists? Is
I'd like to
rebounds?
see him continue that three-point shooting. That's the one that I don't know about.
I agree with you.
That's the only one he's never done before.
Yeah,
to that
I mean,
level.
look, it's a three-point
He's
league.
shooting
If he
great.
can shoot 41%.
Dude, that'd be
and by the way,
unbelievable.
there's a trend that we're going to see when we look at these numbers, and the theory is that this is because of the system they're playing, the offensive that they're playing. It's not just one guy that's shooting better from three-point range. This team is shooting the lights out.
Well, I wonder, Mike, and this sounds like a potential deep dive for you down the line, are all the players, but especially Donovan is the best player, I wonder, my guess would be, to this point in the season, he's getting a higher percentage of open looks than he's ever gotten in his career.
Oh, ever. Yeah, I bet that's right. I bet he is.
I could look into that. That's pretty easy to dive into.
Right? I feel like that, it's a guess, but.
Yes. I mean, having not followed him as closely as we are now in Utah, I don't know. But I think the fact that he's shooting that high a percentage speaks directly to the fact that he's getting more open looks.
Right. And a guy this talented, if he's getting a higher percentage of open looks, it makes sense that he hit more threes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to see that throughout the course of this.
It's
a
gonna
lot
be
of
a trend.
guys are shooting career high in three-point percentage. And Kenny Atkinson has said since about Game 5, I don't know if it's sustainable. And now he keeps saying, well, we got some really damn good shooters and we're getting some really high percentage looks, so maybe we can. So we'll see if you guys agree with that assessment. Let's go to Darius Garland next. Darius Garland on the season is averaging 20.3 points per game, shooting 48.8% from the floor, almost 44% from three, 2.5 rebounds, 6.9 assists. Is this pace for Darius Garland sustainable over the course of an entire season?
Yeah, we've seen him do it.
43%? For the
See,
whole
that's
year?
the problem. I'm not sure. I don't know that any of these guys are going to maintain this shooting percentage. And the reason is the league is going to figure out a fix.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. The Cavaliers have played, based on metrics, like the easiest schedule to this point, the 19 games.
Is that true?
It is.
Easiest?
I mean, it's
because I had mentioned Monday
I spoke to one of my buddies, TA, this morning, and I believe they have played the easiest schedule.
Okay.
If
That
it's
wouldn't
not,
surprise
it's
me, by the
top
way.
three, right?
That
Easy.
wouldn't surprise me.
So with that being said, you're going to face better defenses as you go, and so those numbers will sort of regress to the mean, I think, and they'll still be good, but 43% is really ridiculous.
And he's shooting almost 50% from the field, which for a guard at his size, that's hard to do.
Particularly for a guy who's a volume 3 shooter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is a career high for him, by the way. The 48.8% is a career high.
See, when I looked at this exercise, and I looked more at the big three stats. I looked at points, rebounds, assists. I will say, before we go any further, I'm not sure that anybody is going to maintain that percentage from three the rest of the season because it's so much better than what their career averages are.
If it's 43% and say he gets to 39, that's still very good.
Yeah, but it's
So
a 10% regression.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the league average?
It's still above league average.
Yeah, I mean, his career three-point percentage is 39%, so that'll be right back to his career. You look last year, 37, the year before, 41, then 38,
so
39,
he's right in that
Maybe
area.
it is sustainable. I mean, if he shot, I didn't realize he shot 41%.
But watch, Gia, I'll show you how that's kind of tricky. When you
he's
look at
real
percentages.
Quick, real quick, Jay, before you do that, compared to last year, he's 7 points up on.
But last year was a
same body.
particularly bad year that we didn't expect.
You know
to be
what?
that
You know what
bad.
this reminds me of? This reminds me of baseball season. It's early June. You're at the quarter pole, and someone's hitting 430, and you're going, "Oh, wait a minute. That's just not doable over a full." Now, you say, "Well, it's only 4 percentage points," but in baseball, it's the same way. When you're talking about a high volume of number, like you are in at bats and shots, a 43% down to a 39% is a batting average going from 430 to 390. And that's a 40-point dip, not a 4-point
However,
dip.
basketball and baseball is different. Baseball, pretty much at the plate, is an individual sport. To what Bull said earlier,
So is shooting.
if you are getting open looks and your
Yeah.
looks are better or higher quality looks, then you should be able to still knock down those shots at a higher level
Yeah, and
because
not
they're
to
wide
mention
open.
the average field goal percentage and the average three-point percentage is going to be higher than the average batting average.
Yeah, no, I'm not comparing
Yeah.
the numbers themselves. I'm
Okay.
talking about the drop.
I got you.
Like a
I got you.
43% drop to a 39% drop on the surface doesn't seem like a lot. But when you flip it to the baseball discussion, a 430 average to a 390 average, or do it this way, a 270 average, which is very serviceable, down to a 230 average.
Right,
it's only a 4 percentage point
Right,
drop.
and-
but in reality, it's like it's a huge drop.
Well, on top of that, let's say he's going to shoot 39% for the season, well, that means he's shooting 35% maybe for the rest of the year. Because to end
Yeah.
up at 39, he's going to have to shoot well below that.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that that Darius shot 41% from three, was it 2 years ago, Mike?
Correct. In the first year he played with Donovan, and it was essentially the same. He's taken one more three this year compared to that previous season.
And if you throw in the fact that this is by far the most talented team he's had around him,
yeah.
I mean, 43% is not crazy.
The variance isn't
I don't think
that
it's
high.
impossible for him
Yeah.
to shoot 43% for
Like,
the year.
If you
Let me
shot
ask-
41 and you shooting 43, but you shot 39, you got to, afford
Right. If he
two up,
shoots,
two
like
down
if he
variable.
finishes at 41 this year, okay, he shoots 39% the rest of the year. That's still really good.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And even if he regresses all the way to 39%,
Yeah.
I'm living with that all day long. My question to you, Mike, is my concern is that all the rest of the league, both individually and kind of collectively, because that's how these blueprints transfer, there is a remedy to slowing what the Cavs are doing.
If you have the talent.
Yeah,
If you have the
Boston
length
does.
and the
How many
talent.
teams do, though?
But what I'm saying to that is, I think the quarter pole is kind of the good judge because now there's hay in the barn. There's tape in all of these 29 other NBA camps, and they're looking and they're dissecting and they're saying, "Oh, here's one of the things they're doing." The counter to that is this. The rest of the season, we're going to see what the league does to counteract what the Cavs are doing.
What the Cavs have done offensively is not recreating the wheel. They've just added some
Right.
elements of drive and kick. The way you slow that down, to Bull's point earlier, is you switch.
Yeah.
Boston has the horses to be able to switch and not get absolutely
Yeah,
burned.
but not everybody does not.
Most teams,
Do not.
not even everybody. Most teams.
Yeah, there's probably a handful that do.
I'd say less than 5.
Yeah,
that
right.
have
I agree
the
with
ability
that.
to switch.
I agree with that.
And
real
here's-
quick, but just to add on top of that,
Yeah.
because they're playing so unselfishly, they're not forcing shots even in switches. They're still working to get good
Right.
shots.
Yeah.
And that's what's leading to this incredibly hot shooting to start the
And
season.
Mike, I think, I'm looking at the defensive efficiency in the NBA. The Cavs are 9th in defensive efficiency. If you look at the 8 teams ahead of them, 6 of the 8 are in the West. So, yeah, they'll play 2 games against those teams, and they already have played Golden State and beat them. But you're not going to at most, you'd only have to play one of those teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, Oklahoma City, Houston, Memphis, Golden State, Dallas, and the Clippers are all really good defensively.
Yeah, we'll see
That's
one of them.
fine, but you're only
Maybe.
at most going to have to play one of them in the playoffs.
Correct.
And yeah, you got to deal with Boston. Orlando's up there defensively. The Cavs beat them already. And you can't say, well, they beat him without Banchero because they played great without Banchero.
Well, they still beat him without Banchero.
They did.
I agreed to your second point.
And they're better with him, but they're playing great without him right now.
I agree. They're playing
The East
way
is
better
just-
than I thought they
Is
would.
there any team in the East, Mike, besides Boston, that you think could slow down in a series this Cavs offense?
Yes.
Yeah, the Knicks.
Knicks.
The Knicks at full health, if they
Okay.
have, and listen, the Cavs are going to attack Anthony Towns. Like if right now, if he's on the court, they're
Yep.
going to, in a playoff series, every time they're going to try to get him a pick and roll. But theoretically speaking, They made the trade for Mikal Bridges to have these
Right.
uber athletic switchable wings in Josh Hart, Bridges, Anunoby, Miles McBride off the bench. They have no depth anymore, but the whole point was they had 3 or 4 6'6" to 6'9" defenders to switch.
Right.
But they haven't been good defensively so far. I know it's
No,
early,
they've
right?
been terrible. It's
Yeah.
early, but
Nobody has. Do you see the scores this year?
Oh, except
It's
for,
insane.
yeah, I mean,
the Cavs
Oklahoma
have the
City,
highest. The Cavs this year
Boston.
have the highest
The
offensive
total
rating in the
tonight for
history of
this
the league.
game is 240.
Well, Atlanta doesn't play any defense, right?
No, I get it.
And
but
I would
that-
take the
but-
over.
But that's still 60 a quarter.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
All you need is one quarter you score like 52. And that's
Yeah,
a lot, by the way.
Cavs have had quarters where they scored 46.
But is
48.
that all terrible defense, or is it that
Pace.
teams are taking more 3-point shots than
That-
ever?
yeah.
It's
All
all
the
the
above.
all the
It's all
above.
the above.
Right.
All
Yeah.
the above.
Right, right.
Collective.
It all
All the
factors
above.
in.
Like, don't get it twisted. When these playoffs come around,
yeah.
Indiana's going to be good. New
Defense
York's
will be
gonna
in vogue
good.
again.
Orlando
Yeah.
can ratchet it up. New York, Boston. It ain't going to be
Yeah, but
no
here's
walk.
the thing: the Cavs also can play good
They
defense.
can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so
They can.
like you say, okay, well, but the Cavs are better than those teams offensively, and outside of Boston's the team to beat in the East. We all know that. But every other team in the East, their defense is going to get better, but so is the Cavs, and the Cavs are better offensively, probably, than every other team in the East besides Boston.
All I'm saying is, yes, the Cavs are good. I would give them the edge in those series, but the playoffs, they're going to slow down. The ball is done.
Yeah,
it slows down a little bit.
There's
So,
going to be no cupcake
Yeah.
series
Yeah.
for the Cavs.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Right.
Next up, let's get to Evan Mobley. His numbers improved from last year. He's at the 17.6 points per game, 8.9 rebounds, 2.6 assists. He's averaging a block and a half, shooting 56% from the floor and 35% from three. Are all those numbers sustainable for Mr. Evan Mobley?
I'm very concerned about the three-point
Yeah.
shot.
3-pointers.
But everything else, I think this is the new Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Overall, yes, 100%. He's a different person, different player. I mean, he's playing out there with that dog in him, which we've never seen before.
He's going to go back and look at tape of him in his first couple years, and he won't recognize it.
Yeah.
He's a totally different beast.
well, if we're going to say he's totally different, that 3-point, the difference is the 3-point shooting.
I don't think so.
it-
I think it's the aggression.
I think that's one of the differences, but I don't
He's
think
so much more aggressive
It's definitely
down
not the
low.
only difference, G.
I'm saying it's the biggest difference because when you talk about it, aggressiveness is fine, but floor spacing is a thing too. You can be aggressive all you want, but you clogging the paint up. Him shooting 35% brings people out from the basket so Jarrett Allen can rim run and
Gee,
do
what
other
if I
things.
told you his three-point percentage is down 3 points from last year, though?
How many did he shoot last
He
year?
probably shot as many this year as he did all last year.
He's averaging 1.7 threes this game, attempts.
This year.
He's averaged 1.3 last year.
That's it?
His three-point shot is the same as it was.
I
it hasn't
think-
changed. Bull's right. It's the aggressiveness.
It's
Well,
100%
yeah,
the
I
aggressiveness.
agree with the
He's
aggressiveness.
I get what you're saying, but he's not sitting in the paint waiting for the ball to get to him. He's taking the ball and going down court and attacking the basket.
Yep.
He
Yes.
never really did that last year.
I get it. That's part of it. But what I'm saying to you is if he wants to continue to be the different player, he's going to have to shoot threes. And I bet you the Cavs are telling him, shoot it more.
That's fine, but he's only shooting like 2 a game, and that's. I don't think he needs to do more than that.
He's not even shooting to a game.
I'd
Not
like
even
to
to
see
a
him
game,
shoot more
yeah.
than that. I would.
I think in the playoffs he's going to have to. This season, he's taken 31 three-point attempts in 18 games.
Yeah, it's not enough.
So the
wanna see
volume,
him
it's
shoot
crazy
more.
because he made a couple early.
What
and
was
we're
his
like
percentage last year?
37.3.
So basically, his outside game is marginally different.
It's
Marginally.
marginally. Yeah, he averaged 0.4 3-point makes per game last year. He's averaging 0.6 3-point makes per game this year.
Yeah, that's almost
Almost same.
negligible.
It's the other parts of his game, ironically. We kept saying it's got to be the threes, it's got to be the threes. It's the other parts that have actually taken the jump that we hoped the three-point shot would.
Yes.
And because of the way they're utilizing him in the space and the whole offensive
Now
scheme,
imagine if he does add that to his arsenal.
Exactly.
There's another level that he goes up. Because
yeah.
once he becomes a legitimate outside threat, which he is not even close to it right now, but once he becomes an outside threat, oh my goodness, it opens up everything, not just for him, but for all of his teammates.
and
How do you defend that?
Because we got Leroy, so I'm going to get to 2 more real quick. But
Yeah.
isn't it crazy? Just on paper, we all think Mobley's taking a step, right? He's averaging fewer assists, fewer rebounds, and shooting worse from 3 this year than he did last year. His points are only up by 2, but visually it looks so different.
Wow. You know what? You can't measure his impact because it's like things that don't show up in the box score.
Yeah, exactly.
His aggressiveness has opened up things for all of his teammates, and he's not getting credit for that in the stats.
What did you say, Mike? I missed it.
His numbers are essentially the same as they were last year.
His points per
Mobley?
game
Yeah.
are up 2. Steve, take Mobley's.
It's
A big
season
difference,
stats.
though, up 2.
Well, what's funny is if you would have asked us on a blind test, what are his numbers? We would have
Yeah.
said his numbers are up 5, his rebounds are up 2, his assists are up.
But
But everybody else's numbers are up, and I accredit that to his aggressiveness and the way they're running the offense.
Well, if you look at these numbers,
Yeah.
these are his numbers this year.
Yeah.
Last season, same blocks, 1.5. Last season, he averaged 3.2 assists, so more last season. Last season, he averaged 9.4 rebounds, more last season. Last season, he shot 58% from the floor, better last season. He shot 37.3% from 3, better last season. The eye test tells you he's taking these giant leaps forward, and part of the
What's his touches?
I have to dive way deeper into the box.
Okay,
score to
let's
get
do
that.
this.
What are
Let's
his
figure out
turnovers?
what his touches
what are his
are.
turnovers
and
this year?
I
He's
would
gotten better
bet
at that.
you-
Turnovers are up by half.
They're up?
Well, no,
One
but
point last
listen,
year,
no, listen.
2.3
He's
this
touching
year.
the ball a lot
Here's
more.
why his turnovers
Yeah.
are up.
Okay. He
His
has the ball
handles
more.
are up.
Yeah, he has the ball way more.
That's
Okay.
where we're going to see
He
the big
definitely
jump
looks better,
in Evan
man.
Mobley.
He's taking a giant jump. I'm not trying
Those
to say
numbers,
he has,
that's a
I'm
good
just saying that
one,
the
man.
numbers
Yeah.
don't necessarily
There
back
it is
up.
here.
It's an interesting study.
So what you're saying is kind of like Myles Garrett, right? Where you don't necessarily see maybe the numbers, but the impact is there, right?
Well, I mean, he's still averaging 17, 9, and 5.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say Myles Garrett because he's making all of his teammates measurably better.
And Myles Garrett does not make your team.
Where are all these other sacks from the other teammates?
Well, if he wasn't getting that attention, they would have all kind of other stuff going.
Well, he is getting that attention.
That just goes.
So I want all the stats from the whole defensive
I-
line to be way up.
One great defensive lineman can't make other guys get sacks.
They can lighten the
No,
load.
no, but we make that
If they're
argument
not
for
good.
T.J. Watt all the time. Well, he's got a bookend that's great.
My point.
So we can't use that argument when it fits our case.
The point of the argument, the point of the comment was there's sometimes that you can look at stats and just say you could be fooled by the production levels and say either you're good or bad based on just those stats. When in reality, there's certain things that you do that don't translate to stats that help the team.
I mean, in football, it's a bigger difference because in football,
You can't
we
compare
only
this.
judge
No.
defensive linemen based on sacks, which is stupid.
Yeah,
Has
I
anyone
agree
ever said
with
Myles
that.
Garrett's bad, though? Like,
What's that?
no one ever says Myles
No.
Garrett's bad.
No, what I'm
the
saying-
only argument against him is he the best in the game right now?
Yeah.
Is he the best of all?
I don't
will
think
he be the best of all
anybody
time?
in the NFL would actually say somebody else is better. Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, football, like Myles Garrett could he could benefit from a great secondary. You know,
Sure.
more time. Like, so I get what you're saying,
It's
G. Bush,
complimentary.
but
It's complimentary. but
it's hard
I
to compare
just
the
think
two.
in Mobley's case, like we're trying to struggle here to make sense of his stats, which are either at last year's level or in some cases below. And I think the point that I wanted to make was I want to look at his touches because I think that number
find
is
that
going
by
to
the
be
end of the show.
way up. And I also think that because of this, like his style is different. He's playing stylistically a different game. And I think that that's benefiting everybody else on the floor. when he's out
Mikey,
there.
what are the numbers on the Cavaliers, like the offensive rating
They
numbers?
have the number 1 offensive rating in the history of basketball.
So that to me
What?
is a more telling
Yep.
telling
Ever.
stat
Ever.
right now because
Holy cow.
Mobley is certainly a huge part of that. You said touches, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
the ball is going through him.
That's
and
it.
the team is putting up better numbers. So overall, yeah, I get it. Like the numbers may be the same, but how he's playing the game, the energy that he brings
different.
to the team, to the court every night.
And I don't know if we could prove this. I don't know if there's a stat to prove this. There really isn't. But by watching the team, I think we'd all agree that his improved play and his improved presence on offense is getting easier shots for the other guys.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Right?
Totally.
So that
Playing with more confidence, you can't
Yeah.
measure that. Mike, you kind of glossed over that stat. Let's hit that again.
Yeah.
They currently have the highest
Isn't-
offensive efficiency that's ever been
I think
recorded
that's,
in the NBA.
isn't that misleading, Mike? Because all
like
of the teams near the top are in the last 5 years.
the Celtics last year had
well, it
number
has to
2
do with
now.
the transition to the three-point game.
There's
but
4 teams this year who are top 10 all time.
Okay, but everybody is playing that style of basketball
Yes.
right
The
now.
Cavs are doing
Did you
it
see
better
the
than
B.J.
anyone else.
Armstrong soundbite?
No,
It's really interesting.
I have been completely unplugged the last 2 days.
Okay, B.J. Armstrong had a comment that really made me think. He said, I can't watch today's NBA. It is boring. I have executives, coaches, and players tell me there are 3 objectives on offense: corner threes, layups, or free throws.
Yes.
And he said the creativity and imagination is gone. There's none of that in the NBA. And I couldn't disagree with anything he said in that podcast. It's fascinating. Search it out and look at it.
2 more real quick, and then we're going to bring Leroy. Jarrett Allen will fly through it. 14.8, 11.1, 1.8, 1.5 blocks. Does anyone think that's not sustainable?
No, that's just completely sustainable.
All right, perfect. We're going to fly through because I want to
No, he's not going to shoot 70% from the floor the rest of the way.
What's his career shooting percentage?
64%.
Yeah, well, I just don't. It's again. I know it seems like
All
it's
he does
5
is-
percentage points, but it's a batting average going from 290 to 240.
I mean, all he does is do dunks and layups.
He's
so
big inside. I get
yeah.
that. That's why his field goal percentage is so high.
Yeah.
All right, and last one,
Easy money.
Ty Jerome. We got to talk about Ty Jerome. He has been the surprise of the season, Steve. It's 330. He's averaging 12.6 points per game, shooting 59.7% from the floor, 54.4% from 3, 2.1 rebounds, 3.8 assists. He's been the best surprise in the NBA thus far, but is it sustainable over the course of an 82-game season?
Unfortunately, no. But I hope
No,
to be proven wrong.
not 54%. I mean, I think the
50
12 points is
12
sustainable.
points is
That's sustainable. You
Yeah,
can do
sure.
That 54%, nah. You ain't getting
And the
that.
59%.
That's tough.
Like, Chris.
Yeah, the shooting percentages can't keep.
He's David Fry.
But after a certain point in time, you done played this many games. We got to stop saying it's a nice story.
And he's
just good.
playing.
He's a
You
good
know, the
player.
12
He's just a good
points.
player.
I'm going to say that in February. If these numbers are where they are in February, we're in November, guys.
Last 4 games, he's averaging 20 points a game because he's
Yeah.
playing more.
Yeah.
So if he plays as much as he has lately, which he probably won't if everybody's healthy, but throughout the year there's going to be guys missing time. So
Yeah.
I think he could definitely sustain the 12 points
I
per
think
game.
that's a gimme.
Yeah.
But he's averaging 27 and a half over his last 2. He had 29 and 26.
Yeah.
Like,
Is 40% from 3 sustainable for him?
yes.
His
Seems
career
that way.
I believe it
three-point
is.
percentage is 34.
Because again,
He hasn't played enough, right, Mike?
everybody's
No, I'm just
shooting
giving
percentage
the
on the
number.
Cavs
Just
is
give me the
up.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like moving forward because the league's working on a fix. They always do.